Everybody, welcome back. Today is Raspberry Day. I got my raspberries in the mail and I'm going to be showing you step by step just how to get it done. Alright guys, so we're setting ourselves up for a nice little berry patch. We're going to be doing 4 rows of about 115 feet, something like that, per row. So what we've done, we're spacing them out about 18 inches apart, and each row will get about 75 plants. And we are going to be doing different varieties, so we're doing, I think, 4 different varieties, 1 for each row. So the first thing we did is we did our spacing. We're doing our spacing at 9 feet apart from one row to the other, from center to center. So we got our string and we got our stakes in the ground, and I put some string all the way down to the very end of the row, and that will keep me straight on the path of where I need to be when I'm starting to dig these things in. So the good thing about raspberries is that they don't need to be down too deep. So I'm going to be going probably around 3 inches or so. And unfortunately, it's a little bit weedy over here, but you know, I'll probably just get around to doing more hoeing and pulling up these weeds. And eventually, I'm going to, once the plants are in, I'm going to mulch it with some wood chips and probably apply a little bit of lime to make sure that that pH stays at the right level. So I already applied some lime in the whole area a few months back, and so the area is already prepped up as far as the pH goes. So you want to check your pH always before you start planting anything, and that way you know for sure that you're not too high or too low. So let me show you exactly what I did, and I'm using just a regular garden hoe. And so basically I just take my hoe and I kind of follow the line, and I'm trying to push the soil to the side, that way I can get back to it. And as you can see, that's a decent amount down, probably a little bit deeper than I wanted to, but I can always fill it back in. And then I'll shift through these weeds to make sure I don't get that stuff in there, especially when they have seedlings like that. But this is not perfect, but it'll get the job done. The main thing is getting these guys in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all this on a completed one. So we're gonna go ahead and show you that real quick so you can see what it looks like when this row is all done. Alright guys, so this row is already done. I already got it set up and I'm getting ready to plant, but I wanted you to kind of see how it looks all the way from the beginning to the end, and how I got all the soil on this side, so that way when I'm ready to plant I just pull it over. And it don't take much. Luckily, this is pretty simple. Definitely one of my easiest berry plants that I've done before compared to the blueberries. And so let's take a look at the other row that's already done, so you can kind of see what that looks like, before we get things going. And then I'll go ahead and show you exactly what the plants look like. So let's take a look. So this row is already done. We got this one done yesterday. And like I said before, we are doing 4 different varieties. This particular variety is a Nova, and we got our plants from Norse Farms, and they did a good job sending it to us, and delivery, we scheduled it in to make sure it was not too basically done with the frost. But unfortunately, we're getting a couple more days of frost, but it's nothing major. I think we're going to get dipped down to like 30 degrees, but they said as long as it doesn't stay 30 degrees day and night, it should be fine. So we're good with that. So that is what the row looks like. It's all done, and I can't wait to these things to start growing. I'm going to eventually set up a trellis system, which I'll be doing that on a later time. But let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the box, and so that way you guys can see how we got them shipped in. All right, so this is the box it comes in. We actually got 2 of these, so we already got 1 in the ground, and this is the next one. So I kind of wanted to show you how it comes. It gets delivered, pretty nice solid box here, very nicely packaged, and they wrap them in plastic on the inside. Then they come in bundles. If this bundle is like the other one, I think there was about 75 plants per bundle. No. I mean 25 plants per bundle. Got confused with 75 in a row. And yeah, so that's what they look like. To put these little pieces of paper in there to help hold moisture. And you got this little string over here. Let's see if I can get this off so I can show you guys real quick what the root looks like. So here we go. These are the plants, these are the roots. So you got a nice long stem right here that's pretty thick, and the rest of these roots. And so let's walk on over and get these in the ground so I can show you exactly how this is planted in the ground. So let's get to it. Now we're at the point where I'm going to put this in the ground. So you want the roots to be laid down along the path of the trench. You might think that it should be that deep in the ground. Obviously you can see that's about, you know, from the very tip about 1 foot deep, but that it's not necessary. So the way these will grow, more canes will start growing from the root upwards. So you want to encourage that. So, and because this is the very end or the very beginning of the row, I'm going to plant this so that the roots are going this way. Okay, that way I don't have anything growing outside on the other side. So now we're moving to the next one, and I got my measure here. I just cut this out for 18 inches so I know exactly what it is from one to the other, and I have my spacing correctly. So you're probably going to find that your roots are going to connect. That's perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill this in, and I'm trying to be good about not putting these weeds in the mix. Unfortunately, you know, I didn't have time to really prep this area up the way I wanted to, but I don't think that's too big of a problem. So I'm just going to push all this soil back in the ground. Recheck my measurement. Good. And I'm just going to continue this all the way down until I'm done. And then I'm just going to come over top and water it. Not too much watering, just enough for it to soak into the soil and keep those roots nice and wet. And again, eventually I will get to putting a trellis system. I won't be doing that anytime soon. These guys are going to have plenty of time to grow. And so I'll probably be doing that on a later video. And one thing I will be doing soon, once I do some more cleaning up all the weeds, which I'll be doing with a garden hoe, I'm going to be laying probably about 2 feet wide of wood chips, and that will help to keep the weeds from growing inside the row. And then in between the rows, I'll just be using my my rider, my mower. I probably would like to get, I want to say like a finisher between the finisher and the bush hog. Bush hog is really meant for like high weeds, where the finisher is really cuts it nice and low to the ground, which is what I'll probably want to do with this area, because I don't plan on cultivating this area. I'm just going to let the grass, you know, do what it normally wants to do. Just keep it cut and don't disturb the soil at all, basically. So that is pretty much it. So I'm really excited. I finally got these raspberries. My youngest son, he loves raspberries. He just like is so thrilled about being able to pick his own. When we lived back in Maryland, we had some that we planted back in the yard. You guys, if you remember, you've probably seen those videos, but now we've upscaled to a much bigger piece of land, and so we're going to be using this to do a pick your own and possibly sell to the markets and some of the local restaurants. So that's the big key here. That's the big goal for our farm. It's primarily a berry farm, so we're going to have, you know, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. So we're going to have a couple of elderberries. We're going to have some goji berries. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be seeing in the weeks coming, and of course all the produce, all the heirlooms, my tomatoes. That's probably the most exciting part. Unfortunately, it's the hardest working part because it's a lot involved with growing tomatoes. I mean, there's growing it, and you know, first in the greenhouse, and you have to plant it. Then there's the structure, you know, the staking and all that kind of stuff. So, but you know, it's all good. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else, and this is what I love to do. So, I think that's pretty much it. And I'll probably do another follow-up video for you guys so you guys can see how things are growing once they start getting some vegetation on there, and I cannot wait for that to happen. So that is it for now, and I'll see you guys next time, so y'all take care.